Hola mi gente, Gran Pachilo here, bringing you the meta report for the second and third week of the BT17 format here in Puerto Rico. We did have two major events here, being two Evo Cups alongside the usual locals tournaments, so let's get right into the stats. Now, following the trend of the first week of BT17, the second and third weeks show that AncientGarurumon is still the king of the format, topping a total of 16 times, and that's certainly something. Compared to the second and third runner-ups, which are Imperial and DETHRONE, which topped a total of 3 times, AncientGarurumon is just so wildly above the rest of the decks. It's crazy, but obviously take this with a grain of salt, because all of this is pre-ban list. The ban list was announced, and a few hits that do affect the AncientGarurumon decks were announced, so we'll have to see how the rest of the format shapes up, but I don't expect AncientGarurumon to die off anytime soon. Although it did get some pieces limited, it's still going to be one of the top decks in the meta, regardless of the limits. People have already been cooking for it. As soon as the ban list got announced, people started cooking, and AncientGarurumon is still got a bunch of energy left in its tank. As I was saying, Imperial and DETHRONE were the runner-ups with 3 total tops. And then topping 2 times, we have the Gaurumon and Metal Etemon, which was nice to see. And Metal Etemon was also one of the topping decks in one of the Evo Cups, so a little bit refreshing. And following them, we have AncientGreymon, Omnimon, Fernalugamon, Takamikazuchi, Argomon, the 7 Great Demon Lords, Rapidmon X, Eosmon, and Ragnalordmon. These stats were pulled from 4 different stores in Puerto Rico, including Tower Games, Titan Games, Gamers Cave, and Kano Sport and Gaming Cards. So, let's get into the major events. First up, we got the Evo Cup held over at Titan Games, and although there was only one list topping with AncientGreymon, it was able to take the first place for the Evo Cup. This deck was piloted by Anibal, and he was followed up by Juanma in second place with Imperialmon Blue Green. Third place was Leo from the Extenders team with AncientGarurumon, and fourth place was Homi from the Extenders team with Imperialmon Blue Green. Following that event, we also had the Tower Games Evo Cup, which a member of the Extenders team got first place. It was Chepo running AncientGarurumon, and he was followed up by Luigi from Shinsengumi Gaming, running Imperialmon Blue Green. Next up, we got Josue, also from Shinsengumi Gaming. He was running Etemon, which was very refreshing to see, and he is definitely a pro in running off-meta decks and dominating. And on fourth place, we have Joshua from Night Slayer Esports with AncientGarurumon. Now, we do have the first place AncientGreymon list from the Titan Games Evo Cup, which was piloted by Anibal. And as you can see, he is running a slightly heavier count of the BT4 AncientGreymon. He's running 3 copies alongside 3 copies of the Agunimon promo, which lets you warp into any AncientGreymon. Besides that, from the tamer count, we can see he is not running any of the tamers from BT7. He is just running 4 copies of the new Takuya from BT17 and 4 copies of the Takuya from BT12. So, focusing on mainly the piercings and the +1 memory from the new Takuya, and then the memory setting plus the gain back to memory from the other Takuya from BT12. And we do see the single copy of Omnimon Blitz, because why not? It's a good thing to have, especially when you can just blitz their security so hard that you leave them with 0 security so easy with this deck. Besides that, we do have the for the Ukos, we have a total of 5 Ukos, being 2 of the promo and 3 of the BT16 Uko. And this list will be rather easy to adapt to the ban list. You can just remove 1 Uko of the promo and leave the 1 limited, and then either add another Ukomon from BT16 or add another Pokemon, and with that you should be good to go. But we can tell this list has been pretty heavily play tested, adapted to whatever he saw fit, and it worked like a charm. Now we also have the 3rd place list from the Tower Games Evo Cup, which was Etemon Sukamon, piloted by Josue from Shinsengumi Gaming. And I gotta say, this list has been pretty funny hearing the stories about the tournament. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the Evo Cup, but I have heard from a few people that the matches were pretty good. I know with this deck, he told me he has been abusing the Ruin mode in combination with the all turns inherited effects of some of the Sukamon cards, which let you delete another Sukamon to protect your Digimon. So he's basically just abusing the end of attack of the Ruin mode without having to sacrifice Ruin mode himself, which is pretty funny to just each turn do recovery +1, delete something, hatch. You're pretty much guaranteed a lot of control on the opponent's board. And besides that, we also see the EX5 Metal Etemon run at 4 copies and 2 copies of the King Etemon. The Metal Etemon from EX5 will let you redirect your opponent's attacks and delete one of their Digimon Tamers. And also you have the King Etemon, which can hold off some of the AncientGreymon or Imperial cards with its opponent's turn effects. All of your Digimon with Etemon or Sukamon in name get, I think it's blocker, and they can't be returned to hand or decks, I believe, which just absolutely removes all of their potential to bounce your stuff from the board. But besides that, we do have the mixed trainings. I personally can't wait to get the dual color memory boost. I think this deck would have benefited a lot from the sepia boosts, but we have currently we don't have those, so we just have the 3 copies of physical training and 2 copies of defense training, the 2 TKs to just look at our security, see if there are any valuable pieces, and set ourselves to 3 memory at the start of the turn. And for the rest of the deck, it's pretty standard for an Etemon list. We have 4 of the EX5 Etemon, which forces your opponent to attack and gives them minus 3000 EP, which is super strong. We have the 3 copies of the King Sukamon that on play or when digivolving, if you have the right amount of Sukas in trash, you can turn one of your opponent's Digimon into a Sukamon token. And also you have the when attacking that it gains security plus for each of the Sukamons on board, I believe. And you have the 3 copies of the BT14 Etemon, which has the security effect and also the on deletion to put itself in the bottom of the security stack, I believe. I think it's the bottom. I believe it's the bottom. For the level 4s, it's just 4 Sukamons of each. 4 is from 4 of the BT11 Suka, 4 of the BT14 Suka, and 4 of the BT13 Platinum Suka. And for the rookies, it's all Chumons. You got 2 of the Floodgate Chumons, 4 of the BT11 Chumons, 3 of the BT13 Chumon, and 3 of the EX5 Chumon. We also have the Valkyrie Ace, which in combination with the EX5 Etemon is almost like a Ruin mode effect on your opponent's turn. If you do force your opponent to attack and then do Valkyrie Ace, you'll have a total on negative 8k on the stack you targeted with Etemon, and then minus 5 to the rest of the board. So Valkyremon is just a no-brainer to run when you're running the EX5 Etemon. And besides that, that's it. I just find it funny that Etemon with the Sukamons and the monkeys can hold its own against the decks of the meta, especially AncientGarurumon. I know one of my teammates from Night Slayers got absolutely bodied by this deck, and I'm looking forward to what other things Josue comes up, either improving this deck or coming up with a new off-meta contenders. Now going back to the meta representation, in the coming weeks, which will be post-ban list, I don't expect AncientGarurumon to drop too much, but hopefully with the ban list in effect, it'll give some space for other decks to consistently top and other maybe slower decks to enter the meta. But overall, the deck is nowhere near dead, and people have been playtesting ever since the ban list was announced and getting wonderfully consistent results by just switching engines or going into a more conservative approach. But overall, I don't expect it to drop significantly. It'll still be one of, if not the best deck in the meta. But hopefully it'll be more in line with the rest of the decks in the meta to allow more decks to consistently top, and maybe even some slower decks to enter and be able to hold their ground in the upcoming rest of the format. So we'll just have to see how the format shapes up. Now, if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified when new videos come up. It really helps the channel when you do that. And also, if you have other ideas for content that you would like to see in the channel, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.